Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am still in Los Angeles, and to be exact, I am in Palmdale, California. Behind me, you can see the Los Angeles Career Center, and you can see the S14 that's parked right here. We're here because we're gonna work on a super cool project, including the S14 LA streetcar, and you guys are gonna find out all about it in today's video. So let's start. We're going to talk with Aaron, who is the founder of the Los Angeles Career Center. This building is awesome. Graffitis are sick. Really cool.
Oh. Yo, what's up, buddy? How are you,
Aaron.
man? What's going on?
Not much. So let's give my viewers an idea of what is this place?
So my name's Aaron Valencia, founder and executive director of Los Angeles Career Center. It's a work program working on classic cars and welding, manufacturing, bodywork, everything. Teaching 18 to 24-year-olds what it's like to work for a living.
Very cool. Can we get like a behind the scenes view?
All right, come on, man. It's pretty
Let's
fun.
do it.
Let's check it out. Come on. So we end up doing, we have 50 students at a time. We do a 12-week program, and we break them off into separate groups. So we have our bodywork and paint department. Okay. So this is two groups right here, two little cars. These are student cars. So we pick whoever has the worst car. We rock, paper, scissors, whoever has the worst car, and they get to paint their own car in a 2-week rotation
really
class.
cool.
So little Beamer, and then this little Honda here. So we have our bodywork and paint class. So they shot primer last week, and then today they're going to be sanding it down, wet sanding, and then tomorrow is actually shooting color. So
okay.
Everything moves super fast. And then our welding and manufacturing in the back, and then this is our mechanics track here. So we got Mario and Eddie and Hedda were teaching, they're going through, and they did all new brake lines on this frame.
I think that's on.
Did you see it? Yeah. Yeah, so they're actually, so we make all the little brake parts, and then they're bleeding the system right now. But it's just how to bend, how to brake, like how to actually, the theory of hydraulic fluid and how brakes work. And a lot of times what we found is a lot of kids, they know about it, they've seen it on YouTube, they know about it, they have cool cars, they want to fix these things, but they've never had a place to use their hands and actually apply it. So this, we kind of developed this as like a vocational makerspace. You know, come through and actually have good tools, have instructors that are from the industry and break it down in a very non-theoretical kind of way, but just extremely hands-on from the beginning. This is what it's like if you're going to do brakes on your rear axle, this is what you're doing. And just jump right in and then talk about theory as we're doing it, not 3 weeks of book work and then get hands-on it right from the beginning. Let's mess it up. And once you've done it, and we've made the mistakes, now when we come back and we talk about the theory and the how and the what and the why, it makes a little more sense. So we throw people in, sink or swim from the gate, and then come back with the education part right after. So we've just kind of come at it a little bit of a different angle. More hands-on. This is our guy Hedda. So we have two little motors, two little small block Chevys. So we're in the Chevy world. We don't have little Honda engines. We got a little Nissan engine. One of these days we're gonna put a little Nissan motor on a run stand, but for now, small block Chevys. Two little motors that they're actually getting ready to, they're inspecting. Yeah, so it's the cooling system, the electrical, how to get everything to make this motor run. Tear it apart, make it run.
Welding section.
Yeah, our welding department. So this right here, our welding bay, and they're just getting started doing, they do a lot of sheet metal work, a lot of sheet metal welding, but then today's the first day where they're actually starting to weld a little bit thicker metal. Great little, we make all the tables, anything that we need, we make. So we make like, design and make anything that we end up needing, we come up with. So then we got to figure out how to do a 45, how to block it, how to make everything nice and square and true. So everybody's just getting going with their bead welding today. So we do little practices, little kits here of how to do bead welds, how to run fillet joints, and how to do T-joints, and just to get started.
Oh my God.
So we started gutting this thing, messing around with this. We picked it up in like just a sad state. I think we got it off the trailer, and he's like, oh, it has a ticky lifter. Got off the trailer, jumped the clutch one time, grenaded the engine. So I'm like, ticky lifter? No, more like rod knock. So we blew the motor up right away, threw another motor in it, and then we've just been making all of our carbon parts in our other spot, just making molds, and just kind of going at it. And just messing with it. Nothing too crazy, but just trying to have fun. So our kids in the class start making different molds. We got a couple other ones with big scoops in them, and sense of purpose is everything. That's where a lot of it, I think, is falling. So right here, everybody is actually, they're working. This is a on-the-job training. They're getting paid, so they're 18, 19 bucks an hour. Because that's that, like you said, that sense of purpose. When you get up in the morning, you're not like, oh, I gotta take this class versus I gotta go to work, I can't be late. It changes. It's a different,
like to go to school.
Yeah, it's pretty much, you know. And then it's trying to be here for disadvantaged young people, 18 to 24 in the LA area. Just creating an innovative program to get people trained and educated and get them placed in jobs. So a lot of they run through a 12-week program. I think right now we're at 150 young people a year come through the program. We're 3 semesters a year. We're at about a 97% graduation rate and a 95% right to work. So most of our kids graduate and go right to work, and predominantly in the aerospace industry. And if you own a shop, your biggest thing is people. Your hardest problem is staff. Yep. Everybody. There's so much. There's money out there. There's jobs out there. There's interest, but this finding good qualified people to work has been the hardest. So I like to say we're kind of at the forefront of this with this formula of instead of just a training, it's actually paid training. So because you got to eat. You know, you got to eat while you're working, while you're learning. And these are all young people that are 18 to 24 years old. So they're already young adults that come from different backgrounds. Like they want a better life, but you got to eat while you're learning. You know. So what happens is right now everybody's doing this rotation training for 8 weeks. They do rotation, and everyone goes through the bodywork and paint, the welding, the composite lab, and at the end of that 8 weeks. We figure out where you're the strongest. If you're like, man, I hate composites, I never want to touch it again in my life, cool, we're gonna put you in welding, or vice versa. So what we have is projects here in different stages, like the 68 Camaro. This is one our kids did last semester, and we did a full ride tech suspension front and rear, and put a motor in it, put a little stroker motor in it that we got sponsored from Blueprint.
Nice. Oh wow. Oh, they're fantastic.
Blueprint's awesome.
Hell yeah.
We did a full front and rear suspension, all tubular, all coil over front and rear, and then put in a motor. So last semester, the kids got this going, got this thing runner driver. It's a beast. And then this semester, in the last portion of the training part, we're gonna start doing some metal work and body and paint. So this is another side to what we're doing for kids. Young people are coming through a little bit more advanced. So we just got some of the new equipment here from Haas. So teaching some of our mill and lathe equipment. So getting into some of the CNC mill and lathes. And this is our computer tech lab where they're doing precision drilling, and this is more of a precise area. And we have our CNC plasma table over here. So it's with our 3D printers, our CNC mills and lathes.
So if you're doing 3D printers and everything, are they learning like SolidWorks?
Yeah, everything's through SolidWorks, yeah. So right now this is just the beginning, and then what we do is we find 10 people who have an aptitude, because not everybody has a computer aptitude. I can cut a car in half and weld it back together, but I couldn't make this on a computer. But there's a lot of work. Yeah. There's a lot of jobs out there for this type of work, and especially if you can do both. Nowadays, that's the number one thing. If you can do both, if you can use your hands and use the computer, you kill the game. Yeah. So this is one of our original locations. We started with a much smaller shop, and then this was our after-school program, was our everything, and then we evolved to a bigger shop. Kept this one dormant for about a year, and then reopened it as a welding shop, and then we've just recently taken over as a composite lab. So
it's the OG spot.
Yeah, this is one of the OG spots. Come on, everybody's at lunch right now. Yeah. So this is doing all of our carbon fiber stuff.
Look at that.
Yeah, some of our different molds. Yeah, some of our different molds. That's all parts for like our G35. We started making parts for that Scout we were talking about.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah. This is coming through. So we're just in our second week of this rotation of the composite lab. So this is Mike Johnson. He's head of this department. Kind of built and runs this thing here, and we're doing. Everybody's just getting to do an infusion and vacuum bagging right now. I think we're doing some trays and making some different stuff. So it's where we were starting. Everyone started making just off of a little tool, just learning how to mix, do a wet layup, and then growing into doing a vacuum bag and get into some infusion. So by the end of the week, they'll make some little trays, just making little composite trays, stuff that they can take home, but they feel confident they've been able to follow all the steps and complete tasks. So I was coming out, I think this making the mold for this one. So I made another one and then just made a replica of the stock one and then just started cutting it up and making some more, putting some different louvers in it. And
it's very cool.
Yeah.
So you're teaching them also how to make the molds?
Yeah, last semester we did a lot of mold making. I think this one, we kill so much time in the mold.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, let's us bang out the molds and then have them focus more on the vacuum bagging and more on the steps and following procedures. Molds kill so much time.
In like aerospace, they're already going to have the molds. So it's,
Yeah.
the biggest thing is pleats and vacuum bagging is what they need to know.
Yeah.
So that's what we're focusing on.
So Aaron, tell me, how did all this get started? Well, how did it go?
It was kind of just a combination of a lot of different things together, but really it was, I think, just growing up, not having much, growing up poor, growing up just not having a lot, and being able to make a life for myself using my hands. I saw that like there was something more I can do. I was just working, having a small shop, and then started volunteering at a local soup kitchen, homeless shelter. And a couple of years of making spaghetti every Sunday for 400 or 500 people, I'm just realizing, man, there's something more that I can do than just this plate of food. And I'm seeing kids that were coming through in the food lines with their families, and I'm watching these little kids grow up in the food lines, and it was like, man, I could do something more. So I had a small shop. I took a bunch of car parts I had left over and we built this little Model A Roadster, a little 1931 Ford Roadster, just from scrap parts, and sold raffle tickets. And ended up doing a giveaway, and we raised about 50 grand in a few weeks, and gave that away to 2 different homeless shelters just for the kids, just for the youth side, so the kids could go to Disneyland, kids could have a new pair of shoes, and just to feel like they weren't the have-nots for a moment. And did that 1 year, and it just kind of grew to the second year, and then it was 2 years of doing that and realizing, man, instead of give a man a fish, let's teach a man to fish. So I opened up the shop and had an after-school program. So I started having kids from the local Boys and Girls Club and kids from the community come through, and we had a little curriculum, a plate of food, and then a curriculum of welding and a little doing math and a little metal shaping, and it evolved. It evolved, and more kids were showing up, and then a few years of having an after-school program, and we were doing tutoring and homework, and kids were graduating and getting their driver's license, and then they're turning 18, and I had nothing more for them. So now it was, okay, let's start a vocational program for kids that are 18 to 24, which is kind of when life, you have to be an adult, and if you haven't been prepared, you've aged, you've grown up in foster care, you've had a disadvantaged background coming through a broken home from various states of being low income, different stuff. Created a vocational work program for kids that were 18 to 24, and they would come through a 12-week intensive, working on a curriculum, working on cars, doing the restoration from welding, bodywork and paint, composites, electrical, engines. And then what would happen at the end of that 12 weeks, we'd work with employers and get all these kids placed. So they would come through a 12-week intensive, right to working with employers, and they'd graduate the program and go right to work. So it was, how can we get someone prepared for life, get them prepped? And I think with a career opportunity, there's a lot of jobs out there, but a lot of people don't realize, how do they get those jobs? How do I prepare? There's that saying is like, how do I get experience with no job? Or how do I get a job with no experience? It's kind of, well, let's create the space where they can come, learn all those things, feel confident, have the trades under their belt, feel confident, feel ready, and then someone to have their back to open the door for them. Maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
We got a crew.
Yeah.
We got some people.
Yeah.
Have you guys been through the body crew yet? No. Next 2 weeks, you guys are doing paint and body. So you're leaving this year? Is that what's happening?
Well, maybe not this time because we got to get back home, but we'll drop it back off. That's for sure.
So Kevin heard about what you guys were doing, saw online what you guys were having, wanted to come up and meet you guys and just kind of see firsthand what it is you guys are doing, because this type of stuff isn't really happening everywhere.
Oh.
So just kind of see hands-on. You guys get busy tearing apart engines and chassis.
You guys down to work on a 240 and paint this thing?
Yeah!
Alright.
Pink?
Well, Aaron, you guys are doing some awesome stuff right here. I'm happy to be part of it. So we'll catch you guys later. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hope we're stoked to work on that 240.
No, I think it'll be fun, dude. Everybody's excited. We just gotta pick a good color. So I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards pink. I don't know. We'll see.
What do you guys think? Put in the comments what you guys think we should paint the S14. All right, catch you later.
Awesome.